Hello and welcome to the very first edition of Formula World, your source for the latest news in the world of Formula One. It's been a busy week in Formula One, so let's dive right in. Massa opened to drive in 2018. After coming out of retirement in 2017, Williams driver Felipe Massa says he is open to extending his stay beyond this season. When asked about it, he had the following to say: "Yes, if I had the opportunity to stay in the direction I am, or the direction that I think is correct for me, I stay. Otherwise, no. I was saying the same last year. I'm relaxed, there's no pressure, and I'm just trying to enjoy it. I was doing the same last year, but I don't know. Maybe things change for better, and the way I feel and the way I'm working is quite relaxed. I'm sure I can do a really good job. I feel things are going well. I like this car. It's a lot more close to my driving style. I'm happy with the car, the way I'm driving, the way I'm feeling, and the work I'm doing with the team. The most important thing is trying not to lose points." The controversial Cockpit shield has come up again as a topic of discussion, with Red Bull boss Adrian Newey saying he would support the Cockpit shield if it proves effective. I think it's a better solution than the halo, that's for sure. I think the first thing with the shield is to check the visibility to see if it's a viable option. If the distortion is too much, then it's a non-starter, obviously. McLaren, near our limit with Honda. McLaren's executive director Zak Brown has said engine upgrades that were promised for Sunday's Canadian Grand Prix are not ready and the team is near our limit. Honda's working very hard, but they seem a bit lost. We were eagerly awaiting this upgrade, as were our drivers, and it's a big disappointment that it's not coming. It's not lack of effort, but they are struggling to get it to come together. Our preference is to win the World Championship with Honda, but at some point you need to make a decision as to whether that's achievable, and we have serious concerns. Missing upgrades and upgrades not delivering to the level we were told they were going to, you can only take that so long. And we're near our limit. We're not going into another year like this in hope. There's lots of things that go into the decision, and we're entering that window now of which way do you go when you come to the fork in the road. Red Bull needs their own engine. Mark Gallagher, a former head of engine makers for Cosworth who also worked for Red Bull back in the early days, believes a Renault deal is not the long-term answer for the former world champions. Red Bull Racing is hamstrung by the fact it doesn't have a works engine. Even though it has a very good and strong engine supply from Renault, Renault has its own Formula One team, and you have to believe that ultimately that's their focus. Red Bull Racing should not play second fiddle to anyone on engine supply, and I passionately believe they deserve to have their own unique supply of engines. Another big story in the world: Robert Kubica makes F1 return. Former Grand Prix winner Robert Kubica, 32 years of age, was back behind the wheel of a Formula One car for the first time since his rallying accident back in 2011. He completed 115 laps of the Valencia circuit in Spain during a private testing session with Renault running a 2012 car painted with the team's current colours. Robert Kubica had this to say following the test: "I would like to thank everybody for making this possible. I hope it was a good day for everyone, and maybe they saw something of my old 2010 self. For me, it has been an important day from an emotional point of view. It has been a long time away from the paddock, and I have been through difficult periods. I kept working hard, and a few years ago I felt it was impossible. I have mixed feelings. I am proud with what I achieved today, but it also shows what I have lost. I don't know what the future will bring, but I know one thing. After working for more than 1 year to prepare for this, I ran with good pace and consistent in difficult conditions. It is not easy after 6 years, but I knew I could do the job and I can be satisfied. I appreciate the opportunity. Renault gave me my first F1 test back in 2005, so I appreciate another test this time around. Mercedes to quit F1? Former F1 team boss Eddie Jordan, when asked if he thinks Ferrari Sebastian Vettel will switch to Mercedes next year, had this to say: "No, he has everything he needs at Ferrari, and also because Mercedes will probably pull the plug at the end of 2018. I think Mercedes will go for the titles this and next year, and then the board of directors in Stuttgart will decide to sell the team and stay on only as an engine maker. Mercedes has proved to be able to win everything, but from now on things can only get worse. It would be better to save money and to return to their core F1 business, to develop high-performance engines and to provide them." However, Mercedes boss Toto Wolff rejected Jordan's claims, calling them baseless. He had this to say: "Monaco is a place where people like to party, and it seems like somebody did a bit too much of that. Their reports are completely baseless and reflect nothing more than the mischievous speculation of one individual. Mercedes has firm contracts for its participation in Formula 1 until the end of 2020 and is currently in discussions about the next competitive cycle with the sport's new owners." Well, that's all for this week. I appreciate you watching the video to the end. If you liked this video, please leave a like, subscribe, share. Feel free to give me any constructive criticism and feedback in the comments. Anything else you'd like to add, I'm open to hear it. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next episode.
I don't know.
Brilliant. Thanks, mate.